Welcome to Making a Difference, AV Pride's TV series on underage drinking. My name is Kyle Blygen, and today's show and topic will be providing alcohol to minors, access and availability. Today, I am joined by Mrs. Blygen, a mother of two and a very concerned parent. So, Mrs. Blygen, what do you believe the role of a responsible parent is in the household?
I believe the role of a responsible parent in the household is to love their children unconditionally, protect them, teach them right from wrong, guide them, encourage them, impart the right things into them, be an example before them, and to teach them to be independent thinkers. So when they're out, they know, what decisions they should make for themselves. And we should also show them the pitfalls of life. We should also be transparent with our children as well. And we should also let them know that the decisions that they make impact the family, not just themselves.
Well, based on your outlook, what do you think of parents who willingly host parties where their children are offered alcohol?
Well, first of all, I don't think that's a good idea, because as a parent, you always want to have your child in a safe environment. And to promote alcohol to children is not responsible. Not to mention the detriment of alcohol to both, young people and adults. That's just not something I would want my children to be in, that type of environment, and that's not a responsible parent.
Well, then why do you believe that parents, knowing the bodily harm and the legal ramifications of alcohol, why do they persist and continue to host parties where the children are offered alcohol under their own roof?
Well, there's a mindset I don't subscribe to, that parents want to be friends with their children instead of being parents. And they want to do what the culture is dictating instead of what they should be accountable to do. So I feel that that's really what's going on, and that's not leading correctly, and that's not protecting your child or any other child that comes in your environment.
Well, based on your views, do you believe that parents these days need to take a stronger stance on the wrong and right and then tell their children that, communicate that with their children?
Oh, absolutely. You have to have a standard for your household, and you have to validate your children. And your children have to know what the standard of the household is. Now, if the parent is reckless in communicating that to their child, then you will fall into these type of situations.
Okay. Now, today there's a large pull. There's a pull between morality and media. Many parents tell their children one thing, but the children listen to, say, the media, like movies and music, and it's telling them something completely different. If you had to talk to a teen today and tell them which side of the fence to go onto, which side to fall onto, what would you tell the teens of America today?
Well, I would let the teens know today that drinking is never the answer. It leads to other things. That whatever the concern is or whatever you feel comes with it, it's false. It's not truth. And they really need to get to the core of really why is it that you want to drink. It does look attractive, but everything that glitters is not gold, and that's the truth of the matter.
Wow, that's everything that glitters is not gold. That's something I wish could be splattered on every single billboard on the highway today, because many individuals believe that because they see it in the movies and because they see it in the commercials, that their life is lacking because they can't obtain alcohol. But based on your many years of being a parent and your interactions with other individuals who are also parents, have you seen situations or experienced situations where teens have fallen into the trap of alcohol and have not recovered?
Oh, absolutely. And it first starts in the home. My husband and I are raising two sons, and we don't drink at all. Although we do have family members that have fallen into alcoholism, and we do see the detriment and the disaster it has caused. And we speak to our children and tell them that it is wrong and let them see what the end will be for them.
Do you believe that parents need to be transparent with their children today and tell them that even though the alcohol may look appealing, that even though it looks attractive, it won't benefit their life?
Absolutely. I think you have to be transparent with your children. You have to let them know the mistakes that you have made and that you can see further than your children so they don't fall into the same things.
Okay. Well, thank you for your insightful insight. I'm glad that we got a parent's perspective because many of these shows just show professional people telling teens not to drink. Many times we don't hear what parents have to say about their own children, so thank you. Teens, this is the beginning of the show, so I would just like to address this in saying we've heard a parent's perspective. Later on in the show, we'll hear a panel of teens just like you and I who will be talking about what they think a parent's role in the household should be and what we need to see in the media in order for us to change. There's a big pull. Society tells us to drink, but our parents are telling us not to. So I urge you to stay tuned for more of this conversation, and maybe you can join the debate. So stay tuned for our panel discussion after this break. Thank you.
Did you know in Fayetteville and Peachtree City, the top 2 places that underage drinkers get alcohol are from non-family members who give it to them, or by paying someone to get their alcohol? Think, don't drink.
Make a difference. Prevent underage drinking.
Glass and steel flew everywhere. My whole body seemed to be turning inside out. I heard myself scream!
17% of binge drinkers are teenagers. Drinking kills dreams.
Suddenly, I was awakened. It was very quiet. A police officer was standing over me. My body was mangled. I was saturated in blood. Pieces of glass were sticking out all over.
Nearly 72% of students have consumed alcohol by the end of high school, and 37% by 8th grade. Drinking kills dreams.
Strange that I couldn't feel anything. Hey, don't pull that sheet over my head. I can't be dead. I'm only 17.
Young people who drink are more likely to be involved in self-destructive behaviors. Drinking kills dreams.
I'm waiting for you.
For more information, go to www.didyouknowfacts.net.
And we're back. And last time we had a panel discussion, we talked about the morality versus the media. Now, as you've seen with the previous interview from Mrs. Blygen, we got a glimpse at what parents, responsible parents, thought about social hosting. Now, it's the youth of America's turn. So, Taylor, what do you think about parents who willingly host parties where alcohol is served to their children?
I feel like it's really irresponsible, and it makes them look like they don't care about their kids, because I feel like parents that are stricter about it are better parents for their children.
Asia?
Well, a lot of parents feel as though, like, if their child is going to drink, they'd rather them drink in their house, which I do think has good and bad effects, because if your child was to get drunk or their friends was to get drunk and they were at your house, then, like, I can't.
Going off what she was saying, how some parents think that it's better for their child to drink when it's in their house, that might give them like a false consent to go out and drink, even though the parent just only wants them to be drinking in their house. And I think there's a law that says that's okay in Georgia, as long as the teen is in the house and the parent provided the alcohol to their child. I think that's okay. I don't know about that. I just heard about that somewhere, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's just because it is private property, you're technically allowed to do what you want as long as you keep it at home. And most parents, if they do allow their children to drink at home, I feel like they don't necessarily talk to them about drinking. Like, not go out and drink. I know some parents do prefer that their child does it at home, but since that child's used to doing it in like a home setting, once they go to like house parties and stuff, they'll be like, oh, this is basically like me at home, so I can drink. And I don't think parents necessarily realize the social ramifications of that, and also the consequences that they will face from social hosting like that.
Yeah, and I also think that teens who are allowed to drink at home by their parents, they think that it's okay to invite their friends over and come drink with them, even though the alcohol was only provided for the child of the house, and that makes it illegal for the other teens to drink it.
I feel like that starts making it confusing, because then it's other people's kids coming to your house. So it kind of makes the law, like you're bending the rules kind of. So I feel like that's not right.
Yeah, because technically then the parent who was only supposed to provide alcohol to their child is also now providing it to other minors, if that's what's going on.
So based on the view of these parents, do you believe that the majority of parents across the United States of America, and this is honest, you can say what you believe. Do you believe that the majority of not parents in the United States of America truly want their children to refrain from alcohol, or just drink it and not get caught?
I think that a lot of parents don't want their children to drink just because you don't want them to develop that habit. But then at the same time, I think that parents nowadays want their child to be able to like make their own mistakes and learn from like what they do. So they don't technically want to tell their child like not to drink, because if they want them to like if they get a consequence from it or something was to happen, then that's kind of how kids learn now, and that's why parents are more lenient about it. But I think truly no parent wants to see their child drinking. Like, they just don't.
I think I also want to say that, like, with their parents having their child make their own decision, I think there's like a point where the line is drawn, you're giving your child their own decision to drink alcohol. Like, the parent is still responsible for that child. So whatever consequences that child faces, the parent has to go through that as well. So like with my mom, she says as long as I'm under her roof, I have to go by her rules and blah 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 until I'm 18 or when I'm at the house. Then I'm on my own and I can do what I want. So I think there's like a line between just allowing your kids to do anything they want and letting them learn from their mistakes. I mean, I think that's a good idea to let them do, but I mean, like, there's a point where you can't just let them do anything.
Yeah, it's like, it's not that the parents don't care, because, you know, clearly nobody wants their child to get hurt like that. But they also are not thinking that this could happen to my child. Therefore, they're letting them go out and do this, like, little Billy, you can go make your own decisions. So go make your own decisions, and, like, I will be here to, like, support and back you if you, like, end up making the wrong thing, but, like, learn from your mistake. So I don't have to necessarily like be there and like hold your hand the whole way. Yeah.
Well, what if little Billy needs his parents to be there for him, but they don't, as you already said, they don't tell him not to drink?
I think it's
and they get confused because they don't really know like. Well, I feel like as a teenager, you need to have that kind of voice in your head where you're like, well, my mom think if she was sitting here like and saw me doing this. So I feel like if the parents don't do that, then it just makes the teenager confused and makes them think that, well, maybe it is okay for me to drink in this situation.
Well, not really, because like if your parents are constantly telling you not to do something, then like you're gonna want to do it more. But if you don't have your parents always like saying no, 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 then in time you start telling yourself no. Like, people know that drinking is bad, so you don't really need your parents to tell you every single day not to drink. And if they do, then of course you're going to want to do it more, because that's just what teenagers do in general. They're very rebellious. And yeah, go ahead.
I also think there's like a certain respect that you need to have for your parents, like to listen to them and understand that they're only trying to look out for you and make sure that you're going on the right path, that you're successful in life. So like if your parents are telling you don't drink alcohol, it's bad, don't do it, it's wrong for you, you never tried it, don't go out and drink it just to see what it feels like. Just like respect what they're saying and understand that they're just trying to like help you in life so you don't make a wrong decision.
Yeah, and with I feel that within the parent's mind and within their child's mind and also within their like parent-child relationship, there needs to be a balance, because truly your parents do have authority, but like they still do like to let you have your own decisions. So it needs to be that parent tells little Billy, like I'm letting you grow up, I'm letting you do it, but like, you know, just be safe.
Okay. Well, I think Taylor brought up a good point, that every teenager needs that voice in their head. But these days, I think the media is that voice, because many individuals don't have parents in the household who are responsible to tell them what to do and what not to do. So they look to their favorite artist, and maybe their favorite artist is promoting something that their parents may not be, but they don't know what their parents are promoting because their parents are not vocal with them. So what would you say to those individuals?
I don't know, because but with society, they usually tend to listen to what everyone else is listening to. And what everyone else is listening to is promoting like drugs, alcohol, and sex, and having a good time and party, and not really like a goal and education and a career in life or something like that. So like, I don't know, they just have to want to, like the kids who don't have that kind of parental advice over them, they just have to want to be better in life, because like there's two different mindsets from people in the same situation. Like you can have two people in the same situation, same parents, like the twins or something. One person can decide to let that affect them and just keep going down the same path, and the other person can just say, I don't want to end up like that, so I need to do better. So it just really all depends on the mindset of that person.
Or you could choose to be a part of a certain organization where like you can. Okay.
Well, you've heard it yourself, folks. The youth of America has spoken out. They believe that alcohol not only can hamper an individual's social skills, but their parents should not be offering them alcohol. If you're a parent and you're watching this show and you do offer your child alcohol in this household, I urge you to stop, because you're not benefiting them whatsoever. Not only are you hurting them physically, but if the police ever catch you, one, you will be arrested and your son or daughter will be charged as a felon. Because not only are they drinking under the age, but they're drinking in your house and you're allowing them to drink there. And to the child who is drinking in his parents' household because his parents offer him alcohol, I'm not going to tell you to stop. I'm just going to tell you to defer your choice. Whether your parents offer you alcohol or your friends do, you're still drinking alcohol and you're still under the age. Therefore, you'll still be charged as a minor, and there are consequences that follow your actions. Therefore, I urge you, defer your action. Thank you. I will be coming back to you speaking again after this break.
Did you know, when asked how easy it would be to get beer, wine, or liquor, 58% of 13 to 17-year-olds in Peachtree City said it was either sort of easy or very easy. That number was 56% in Fayetteville. Think, don't drink.
Make a difference. Prevent underage drinking.
Mom, why are you drinking so much?
I'm the grown-up. I can do what I want.
No, I hate you!
Every year, over 900,000 children are abused by alcoholic parents. More than 10 million people ages 12 to 20 confessed to underage drinking in 2012. Annually, more than 1.3 million women are sexually taken advantage of while intoxicated. Drinking has consequences that affect more than just you. Next time, think about it.
For more information, go to www.didyouKnowFacts.net.
News Channel 4 at 10.
And we began at 10 with new details involving a heartbreaking case we've been following for almost a year.
We first told you about the death of 15-year-old Caitlin Mounts back in January. She died along a country road, killed in a crash involving teenagers and alcohol. They got the alcohol during a party where the drinks were provided by adults. A husband and wife who in just a few days will stand before an Oklahoma judge and receive their punishment. For the first time, the parents of the victim are speaking out. They talked with our Jolene Cheney. She joins us now live with the story. And Jolene, these parents are saying Oklahoma laws just are not hard enough on people who host these underage drinking parties.
Kevin, they say what was taken from them can never be replaced and believe penalties for what happened to their daughter should match the crime.
Matter of fact, that night she left, I said, "Why are you always leaving, Daddy?" And she said, "Daddy, it's not like I'm leaving forever. I'll be back tomorrow."
Then the unthinkable.
We got a phone call. Your daughter's been in a wreck. And when I got there, they said she's dead. And I just laid there and looked at her face and her eyes.
Eyes full of joy and laughter. Eyes Keith and Sherry Mounts will never get to look into again.
They say she died instantly, but I don't know if she laid out on that country road, bleeding and broken, waiting for help.
I gave her CPR for over an hour, and finally the EMT told me to stop.
The events leading up to that night constantly haunt these parents. Their 15-year-old daughter, Caitlin, spent the night with a friend. The two girls ended up going to a party where this couple, John and Cheryl Kyle, provided alcohol to minors. The girls ended up leaving with 17-year-old Lance David. He was sentenced earlier this year after prosecutors say he was drunk when he crashed his truck, killing Caitlin. The Kyle sentencing now just days away.
I can't imagine that parents would do that. I can't. And then the justice system.
They're pushing through the system just like they do all the rest of the people that's DUIs. I mean, the state of Oklahoma's lenient when it comes to DUIs.
It's been almost a year since that January night. This video of Caitlin's last dance, just hours before her death. Sherry still hasn't washed the uniform.
She changed out of this and went to her friend's house, and I can't bear to wash it. I will never wash them.
Caitlin's bedroom just like she left it, as her parents hope for justice. But those hopes aren't high.
They're just going to, be in and out.
And the Kyles have both been charged with second-degree manslaughter and providing alcohol to minors. Each of them could get up to 9 years in prison. We'll keep you posted. Linda, back to you.
Welcome back to the show. As you can see, I'm joined here by 4 AV Pride members, Tania, Aaron, Asia, and Taylor. Let's begin our discussion. Pertaining to the video, many minors can access alcohol many other places besides the home. Do you believe that having alcohol in the home exclusively increases an individual's chance to drink? Tania?
Okay. Well, I feel like it may or may not. It just depends on a teenager and how accessible it is. Because it's a mindset type decision where the student or teen has to really process their actions and decisions. And also, clearly, if it's not made available, they're not going to know where it is to be able to gain access to it to drink.
Aaron?
Yeah, and like Tia was saying, I think it also depends on the parents and how they enforce the rules in their house. Like, if their parent doesn't care that their child is drinking, the alcohol is going to be probably made more available, and they're not going to care if their child is drinking it. Whereas if that parent locks their alcohol up and keeps it in an unknown place so that they can't gain it, then it's not really that available to them.
Asia?
I think if it's just put there and that it's there, that even if you get the urge or you feel as though I might want to try it, I think that it's more easier for you to get it because you know exactly where it's at. But if it's locked up, even if you do want to, you still can't because you don't know where it's at.
For me, I agree with them, but I also think that alcohol you can get it, it's easier to get it. You can get it from your friends, and I mean, even though it's in the home, I don't think it's necessarily easier depending on the parenting, like you said.
Okay, well, we live in a world that's media-based. Whatever we can get now, we tend to like. What do you believe society's views are on alcohol consumption?
I feel like society doesn't really focus necessarily on the impact it has on the youth, only because it's chartered towards adults. So they never actually necessarily think about the consequences, like running ads on TV showing that drinking's supposed to be fun and stuff. It's public television, therefore people of all ages will see it, including young children, teenagers, and adults. So media-wise, strictly TV-based, I don't feel like they actually pay attention to the age constrictions and restrictions concerning alcohol, because it's just basic buy my product. Whereas music, it actually is kind of catered towards teenagers because a lot of the music industry is based upon teens and what they want. So I fear they're probably not necessarily encouraging them to drink, but they're also not stopping it.
I've actually seen things where alcohol products were actually placed towards teenagers. I don't really know what that was, but so there are some kind of things in the media that are actually placed towards teenagers, and that's also part of the problem. I think, as you said, with the media they make drinking alcohol fun and exciting, and it probably is while you're drinking. I don't really know. But I mean, it probably is, but they don't get into the impact of it. They just think that while you're there, you're losing your mind, you're having fun, you don't really know what's going on. But they don't show the afterwards. Perfect. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. I don't think that the media really is too concerned about how it affects the teenagers, just because it's that's not like it's not a big thing to them. I don't think.
I don't know, because I feel like it's. I think I'm agreeing with what you're saying, but I think that it's that they don't really care because it's a business and they're just trying to get their product out, and they don't really care who it's for.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like they make it look fun, so it kind of does cater to us. Because if they just had like a serious commercial talking about alcohol, we'd be like, oh, that's boring. No, I wouldn't want to drink like that. That's boring. But they make the commercials usually like at a party scene, or like the music usually tells you, like, have fun and stuff.
And then when you think about parties, it's pretty much like teenagers, and that's why they feel that at their party, they should have drinks out also.
Well, that's interesting that you brought that up, because one side of society tells us not to drink, while the other side promotes it. As we just talked about, the movies that we see, commercials on television, and music. So which do you think is making more noise these days? The voices telling us not to drink, or the ones condoning it?
I think that the one that is telling us to drink is making more, because teenagers tend to listen more. They don't really listen to like don't do something. Like it never really affects them as much as like when you see it and like they're being like drink and you could have so much fun and you could do this and you could do that and your party would be like so much cooler if you do have drinks. That's why I feel that the side of society that is telling you to drink is more impactful.
I don't know if it's like more or less, like if you said which one is louder. I think that the part of society that's saying do drink is just more appealing to teens, whereas like we said, drinking is fun and blah blah blah, you're having fun, you're losing your mind, parties and stuff, whereas no alcohol, saying don't drink alcohol is just saying don't do it. Like they're just saying there's a cost to it, but they're not like living it up, I guess.
I think like the don't side makes it seem so like bad, like makes like when they say don't do it, they make it sound so harsh. Like, I mean, I feel like the reason why the other voice is louder is because it sounds so much better to teens. Like it makes it seem like it's not as bad as it is.
Yeah, and the side that condones it is kind of like justifying the teens' decision to drink. They're like, well, yeah, they said so, so like, well, I'm not wrong about it, because if they look on the TV and like even it's like reality, like they see like, oh, these people do it, they never got in trouble, so like whatever, I'll just do it anyways.
Yeah, I think you brought up an excellent point, Nia, that the media is driven by teenagers. Yes. So based on what we see on the media today, and it's driven by us, can you conclude that we want to drink?
I don't know. I think it's like it goes both ways, really. I know it is a mind game, because like as you said, it is true that teens control what is good, what's hot, what's new, and stuff. But like the media also controls like how that is put forth. Like you see like in the magazine, they cater it to you. Like they give you examples, and then like the teens choose what is good. What they want to follow. So I think media puts more stuff out that's more alcohol related than they do that's not.
Perhaps.
I feel like they actually don't really advertise it necessarily, like put more of it out, but what they do put out does actually just impact. Because I know when I'm watching TV, I actually do not see a lot of alcohol commercials, even though there are quite a few. But like the ones in it, they're like grab your attention, so you recognize it, and you can like recognize the brand and stuff. So yeah.
Okay, well, based on this segment, we just discovered and discussed morality versus the media. What is truly right and what the world tells us to do. And you've just heard from this part, the youth of America give their insight and their advice on what they believe is right. As you can see, media today tells us and condones alcohol drinking, whether it be under the age or the age of consent. But that's not what's portrayed on television. They tell us to drink regardless of what our parents say. And the sad thing is, our generation seems to be falling into that. And if you're watching the show right now and you're wondering what side of the fence you should be on, I suggest that you take the one that makes more sense to you. Take the one that would save your life. If you believe that partying and living your life recklessly and living quick and dying young is the way you want to live, then I say go ahead and live it. But I urge you, think twice before you cross the road. Think about the decisions that you can make and the consequences that come with them. And I urge you, I'm not telling you not to drink. I'm telling you to defer your decision. And we'll be back with more of our group panel discussion after the break. Thank you.
Did you know when asked whether parents in their community allowed social hosting, 71% of the kids in Peachtree City said yes, while 59% in Fayetteville said social hosting occurs? Think, don't drink.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, you've heard it all. You've heard the voice of a concerned parent reaching out for the teens, telling them to defer their choice of alcohol and telling them what their parents' response to alcohol should be. You've heard the youth of America who are just like you and I, speaking about what they believe is right and wrong in society today and what they truly believe of alcohol. Your life is more than a bottle of whatever you choose to drink. So don't let that full bottle empty your life. I'm asking you, I'm not telling you not to drink. I'm just asking you to defer your choice. Because you're still a minor and you're still drinking under the age. Therefore, there are consequences that follow your actions. So think twice and make the right decision. In America today, we have many options. So if you ever want to find out the right option and have more help, visit www.avpride.org. Thank you.